Hey y'all, welcome back for another complex combo. I need to be real transparent with you guys right now. I mean, really real. So I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see a post. I'm looking at it now just to remind myself that a friend posted, and it was the suicide note that was written by a 15-year-old girl. And she wrote this note to her parents. Now, this makes me really emotional. Can you see? It makes me really emotional because that 15-year-old girl could have easily been me. Okay? That could have easily been me. And more important than that, this could have been my 20-year-old son. Okay? It's the holiday season, and several videos I posted about mental health and the importance, and especially in our Black households, to talk about this. And I realized that I didn't get many views because I understand that as a people, we are not mentally equipped, nor are we ready to have this conversation. But I am sick of us losing our children. I am sick of us losing our friends. And I am sick of posting rest in heaven, rest in peace, to and about someone that we could have reached out to, that we could have talked to, that we could have made it easier for them to reach out to us. Now, this is a loaded video because while it is about mental health and the importance of us talking about this topic, it's about the holidays too. Because I laugh, I joke, I have a small friend circle, I do fun things, we all go out and about and we have fun. But how many of you know that someone in your friend circle suffers from depression? How many of you know that? And you probably think, he or she, they're always turning up, having a good time, laughing, joking. And it's oftentimes that one that is laughing and joking the hardest that is suffering the most. And we don't know. Now, this young girl, while I'm not going to go through her entire suicide note, but I know firsthand the amount of strength and yet weakness it takes to thoroughly write out a suicide note. Why do I know this? Because I wrote one too. I wrote a suicide note to be read at a future date to my then children who were ages 2 and 3. 2 and 3. By the grace of God, I did not succeed. And my children are now almost 21 and 20. But that could have easily been me. And I don't know this child, but reading her note breaks my heart. So I could only imagine the pain that I personally would have left for those that I left behind if I were to have been successful in my desire to end my life. Now, many of you probably don't know this, but had you read my book, you would know. So I'm telling you, it's cool every now and then to see my funny side, but this really touches me during the holiday is mental health. Because, and I'm speaking Black men and women, and I know that others who watch my video are not Black. And while I appreciate that, I am specifically speaking to people of my race because as a people, we have grown up. This is something that has been passed down from generation to generation to not talk about these things. What could you possibly be so down about? You lived, you had a roof over your head. Not everybody had the average lifestyle. So, who are we to question this? But you don't know what struggles an individual has endured. This particular child chose to express to her parents in this letter that the reason why she took her life was because she was raped by a family member. And then she's 15. So not only was she raped by a family member, but another person presented themselves in her life that took on the same face as the relative that raped her, and thought it was okay to touch her in a way that was not appropriate. Things like that. You know, if you haven't been a victim of childhood sexual abuse or any type of abuse, you start to feel like there is a mark on you. Like there is a sign that says, touch me. You can do this to me. A sign on your back that says, welcome, predators one and all. And as comical as that sounds, it's the reality of a child who has gone through something like that. So while my video is not necessarily about the abuse, just the mental health aspect, don't pass judgment. Don't be so quick to pass judgment on people who you once kicked it with, worked with, were acquaintances of, that seem to be happy-go-lucky, and then you hear later on that he or she took their life. Now, whatever your stance is about suicide, I know what the word says, but I'm not speaking from the word. What I'm speaking from is from personal experience, speaking about mental health. I did mention that my son also attempted this. Now, that in itself is heartbreaking as a mom, to know that you have done the best that you possibly could have done to raise your children, to love on them, to make them feel like life is worth living, that they have so much purpose and so many great things to offer the world, but to not know their inner struggles and to not know that they suffer the same type of racing thoughts that you once suffered or experienced, and then to be so many miles away. And you know how I found out about this? I found out about his attempt on social media. It was crushing. It was crushing. I've never felt so helpless in my life. Financially, I couldn't get to my son. My work logistics were such that I couldn't leave. For those of you who know what I do for a living, we were in the middle of a go live, and it was critical that I was present. And I hate to feel trapped emotionally and physically, and this had me bound, to say the least. So while I'm on here talking about mental health, have you or anybody you've known suffered from issues of mental health? In your household, do you talk about this? Have you talked about it? And then think back. When or if you heard of someone committing suicide, what was your response? Did you laugh? Were you disappointed? Were you upset? Did you understand? And if you didn't have understanding, did you seek to get understanding? That's my question. What did you do in response to hearing about someone taking their own life? Because this is so near and dear and personal to me, I don't care who it is. I don't have to know the person. To know that a child who at 15, man, if I could go back and be 15 again and undo and relive and reshape some things and decisions, it would not have changed my situation because I was still at that point a victim of what happened to me. But man, to have the knowledge that I have today, to know that I am not my circumstance, I am not a victim, nor do I have to make decisions like that. She didn't even get that. The pain was too great, and I cannot, for the life of me, smile, smirk, or even stand in judgment of someone who took their life because the pain was too great. So that's what I want you to think about during this holiday season. Those that are around you smiling, laughing, you don't know their story. In many books that I've signed recently, I've signed with this inscribed inside, that behind her smile is a story you may not ever understand, but yet she's still here. Think about that. Till next time, have a great day.